curse of the water of life. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village, there lived a family who enjoyed a happy and content life. However, their happiness was soon overshadowed when their elderly father became gravely ill. As his condition worsened, the family grew increasingly worried, and they knew that their time together was running out. One day, as the father lay on his deathbed, he called his children to his side. With a weak voice, he told them that there was a way to save him, a way to restore his health. But the path was not an easy one. He spoke of a rare and magical water of life, which could heal him, but the water was hidden atop a distant, treacherous mountain. The journey to find it was dangerous, and not everyone could succeed. He told them that whoever was brave enough to retrieve it would have to be strong, determined, and never turn back until they returned home. After much discussion, the family decided that the eldest son, being the most mature and responsible, should be the one to go. He agreed, knowing it was his duty, and set off the very next day. Before he left, the father gave him a final piece of advice. No matter what happens, do not turn back, no matter what you hear or see. Only then will you succeed. The eldest son, filled with determination, crossed mountains and rivers, facing countless challenges along the way. After a long journey, he reached the pond that contained the water of life. Carefully, he filled his container and began his journey back home, following his father's advice. But as he walked, he heard a voice calling his name from behind. Curiosity and doubt overcame him, and against his father's warning, he turned to look. In that moment, he was cursed, and he was transformed into a rock. Back home, the family waited anxiously for the eldest son to return, but as the hours passed and the sun set, their worry turned to fear. The eldest son had failed, and the family was left with no hope. Yet they did not give up. They knew there was still a chance to save their father. After a long discussion, the youngest son, determined and brave, volunteered to go on the journey. "I will go," he said, "and I will bring the water of life." The father gave his final advice once more. "Do not look back until you are home." The youngest son set out with the same courage as his brother, crossing rivers, climbing mountains, and facing all kinds of temptations. But he remembered his father's words, and he did not let anything distract him. When he reached the pond and filled his container with the precious water, he began the journey back home. Along the way, he stumbled and spilled some of the water onto a large stone. To his astonishment, the stone began to move and transform into a human being, thanking him for freeing them from a terrible curse. The youngest son realized that many of the stones along his path were, in fact, people who had been turned to stone by the curse of the water of life. With newfound purpose, he began to sprinkle the water on the stones, freeing each one. As he continued his journey, he came across one big rock. He thought the rock might be his eldest brother, the one who had failed. With a heart full of hope, the youngest son poured the water of life onto the stone, and his brother was restored to life. Together, they continued their journey home. Finally, they arrived back at the village, and the water of life was used to heal their father. The family was reunited, and the father regained his health, and the family was once again filled with joy and happiness. From this story, we learn a powerful lesson. Sometimes, the one who seems weakest or most unlikely to succeed can accomplish great things. The youngest son, who was considered less experienced, was the one who saved the day. We should never underestimate others, for anyone can rise to greatness when given the opportunity and the courage to act. And so, the family lived happily ever after, and the village remembered the lesson that sometimes courage and determination come from the most unexpected places.